this event because many people ask also to get the recording, so this is why we record it.
Okay, welcome everybody.
Record it for history.
Okay, I see people are still signing on, so every, another minute or so is also good, though I do like to start my Zooms relatively on time. So I'll start with the welcome. Okay, welcome everybody to our Zoom today. And we are delighted to have you all here joining us on this Nachala Zoom session, where we're going to see what's going to help us to keep our new government, which is currently being formed, on the right track in all senses of the word. Okay, we are delighted to be partnering today with the Canadians for Israel's Legal Rights and the One Israel Fund. And together, we hope to be bringing you what's going to be a really meaningful and important meeting today. A little bit about me, just to let you know, I'm Gila Slonim. You can see that written there probably, but I am Gila Slonim, hosting you on today's call. I've actually been involved with Nachala for around 5 years now, and I became involved through my children. My children, as you see, Lital is here. She's actually my daughter-in-law, and my son, my daughter-in-law really brought us in. But it was by seeing Nachala and what Nachala does in such an organized, competent and sincere way that I felt that this is an organization that I would like to become more involved in. We are working, I say we now because now I'm in it. I'm part of Nachala and I'm proud to be part of Nachala. And we are working actually, okay, to keep Eretz Israel, to maintain it. All parts of Eretz Israel, Yehuda and Shomron in particular, are very important to us. This is actually the heartland of our homeland, and it's both geographically and spiritually. So if I talk about it spiritually, if we think about Avram, our father, Avram Avinu, when he crossed, okay, he came into Eretz Israel, he was in Elon Moreh, and that's the place where God said to him, I'm going to give this land to your descendants. And then if we go on and we think about Yehoshua bin Nun, he entered the land of Israel, he crossed the Jordan, and he came to a place called Gilgal. And that is just off Route 90. What's Route 90 today? All part of Yehuda and Shomron. So this is very, very meaningful and very important, with our focus being on Eretz Israel and the Jewish nation. I want to give you a little bit of insight into the goals of Nachala, so it's very clear. So we are working to establish new settlements and new townships. We create Garinim, which are core groups of young people and families whose aim it is to create new settlements. We work on land redemption in Yehuda and Shomron. We educate youth about Yehuda and Shomron. And we are also an ex-parliamentary lobby group for the land in Yehuda and Shomron. We have a little bit of a change with us today. Edith Silman has been in meetings all day, coalition meetings all day. So she has sent her apologies that she's not able to join us. But we are very glad to have Eran Ben Ari with us. Okay, he is a lawyer, and he is actually from the Ministry of Defense. Okay, it was where he worked, and he is a lawyer, and I'm sure he's going to have a lot to help us to understand the government and how we're going to be keeping our government, and suggestions on keeping our government on the right track. Thanks, Eran. Please, if you could unmute yourself.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. It's a great honor for me to be with you. And I congratulate each and one of you that support Nachala and helps to strong and to support this movement. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'll happy to answer any question you might have. My name is Eran Ben-Ari. This is Sharon Abadi. Okay, my name is Eran Ben-Ari. I'm a lawyer for 15 years. I used to work in the Ministry of Defense, and beforehand, I was working in the Ministry of Justice. So for more than 10 years, I've been working for the government, and my specialty was the unique laws of Judea and Samaria. Because as you well know, Judea and Samaria are not legally part of the state of Israel yet. We want them to be. It's crucial that the next government will do this act and make it at long last a part of the state of Israel, and not just the very crucial part of Eretz Israel, the land of Israel. So if you ask me, this is the main test that I see for the government, because the situation right now is that the organism that conduct the situation in Judea and Samaria is the army, okay? And there are a lot of rules that comes from the army, and also from like empires. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Your screen is moving a lot, so it may have a little. So if you can stay still, that will be fabulous. Perfect.
Okay, this is because I'm so excited. So
we're thrilled that you're with us.
Yeah. So now, when you spoke earlier about the Nachala seeds, garinim of settlement, so we need them to be building new settlements and towns, but we have to make sure that it's going to be on the right property, okay, and according to the laws, which are very complicated in Judea Samaria, because this is not a part of the state of Israel yet. So I can speak a lot about it. I don't know if this is what interests you or not. So please say what exactly you want to hear, and I'll love to elaborate.
This actually ties into what we do with the land redemption, Eran, because when we redeem land and we purchase the land, then there's no doubt that it's ours. So we can obviously build there. We would like to think that we could obviously build there. No. Okay, no. But it should be. But you're saying that's what you want to encourage, and that's what you want to happen. What steps are there? Steps that you would be recommending that we take, that the Jewish people take in Israel, in order that we can actually build on these land that we know belong to Israel, because there's a lot of land that was purchased by Keren Kayemet, that's such as Evyatar. We know that these lands belong to us. So that's where we're aiming to establish our Garinim.
Yes, it's very important that we'll establish our Garinim on a Jewish property, whether it's state property or Jewish purchases. Mm-hmm. But it's not, it's like a condition. It has to be on that type of land, but it's not enough, okay? There is a lot of political and diplomatic and international law that binds with our ability to establish new settlements, which is crucial for the future of Zionism. You have to understand, if you and I'm sure you're well aware of the map of the land of Israel. Our goal right now is that the border of the Jewish state will be on the Jordan River, as you mentioned before, road number 90. okay, near Gilgal. So it's crucial. In order to do that, we have to establish new settlements, such as an Eviatar, which is on the highway between the center of the Jordan River and Tel Aviv. Okay, this is just on the road, okay, road number 5. And we have to stop the Palestinian incursions to the open land that is happening in a large scale. So this is one of our objectives, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of legal work. It's a lot of political work, diplomatic work. But at the end, or let me say at the beginning, it's what is happening on the ground. Okay, the people of Nachala has the ability to be on the ground, which almost nobody else can do. This very tough objective, okay? Very tough mission, I can say. And I'm, as a lawyer, can say a lot of things and give a lot of advices how to do it properly. And there is a lot of job to do in that direction. But if you don't have people on the ground, boots on the ground, as you say, so we have nothing. So this is what's so special about Nachala, because
maybe if you can also, we now very happy, all of us, that we have the people in Israel said the word and choose that they want to establish, to see here in the government, right-wing government with strong leaders, and we all appreciate our leaders. And then there is a very strong question that come and say, if we have such a great government with strong leader that will be established by right-wing parties, a Knesset member, why we need public activity, why we need that people will be active, and why we should just trust on our leadership. And maybe you can also say why it's helped them, why our activities help, how it's helped the government and the leader to stand before all of the pressure, and why it's so meaningful for their ability to promote those ideals.
Okay, I have a lot of things to say about it as an answer, but let me start with the biography I just read of Prime Minister Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu. Maybe some of you read it already. It's a very impressive book, but in this book, there is a lot of words about Zionism, about our history, the threats the Jewish states have, and not a lot of words about settlement activity. Okay, in Zionism in general, there are two ways of thinking, two how do you say, methods. Sorry, the ones that thinks that everything is about diplomatic statements, as was the Balfour Statement in November 2nd, 1917. Okay, the Declaration of the State of Israel in 1948, the UN resolution in 1947. So this is the approach, I think, that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is very much think it's the more important one. Okay. In the other hand, there is an approach that says the most important things is what the Jews are doing. Okay, where the Jewish settlements are, where they are, the border will be at the end. So this is two approaches, and I'm convinced that the reality on the ground is the most important thing, but also the diplomatic one is important. But I think it's not so important. So this is one answer for your question. So what we do in Nachala is to make sure that the right things are going to be on the ground. But another answer is there is a lot of pressure from the UN and the European Union, and the democratic government in the US from the one hand, and we have to make a pressure, a very strong pressure from the other hand. Okay, it's very important what is going on in the parliament, in the Knesset, and we're very glad about the outcome of the election. But we have to make sure that our representatives are going to do what they ought to do, what they promised to do, and to make the ideology come true in acts, not just in statements. So this is very important in this political climate to strong them, to reassure them, and to demand from them to do what we want them to do in a lot of aspects. But now we speak about the aspect that is involved with settlement activity.
Iran?
Sorry, you can hear me?
Yeah, well, you're back with us.
Okay, so and as I mentioned before, I think the most important challenge is the sovereignty. Okay,
Sovereignty.
the sovereignty. It's the most important one. See, after 55 years from 1967, from the Six-Day War, till now, we succeed. A lot of credit for Daniela in that method to reach more than 500,000 Jews in Judea and Samaria, and a couple of 100,000 more in Jerusalem. But but when in Jerusalem we act an act of sovereignty, we did not do it in Judea and Samaria. We did it in the Golan Heights in 1981. But until now, we did not do it. So I can speak for myself. I'm 41 years old, and I was born in a settlement called Kfar Adumim, between Jerusalem and Jericho, on road number 1, if you know. So even though in a lot of aspects of law, I'm not a citizen of the area of Judea and Samaria. Okay, outrageous.
Ridiculous.
So what I think is the most important demand that we are to demand from our representative in the government is to make the decision. I think the majority of the people of Israel believe now that this is the time for sovereignty. We have almost consensus about the Jordan Valley and the neighborhoods and settlements nearby Jerusalem. And we are to make the government make a decision. We know that there will be consequences internationally wise. You just saw the resolution in the UN like 2 days ago against Israel. We saw that we have 17 countries that support Israel, and the rest of the world, include Ukraine, does not. But we should do what is good for Israel, and I think that it will be something that the other people will understand as time buys. So this is the number one, but it's not the only one. The only thing that we need to demand from the representatives, we need to demand a resolution of the government of forming new settlement in Judea and Samaria, not just in Judea and Samaria, also in the Negev and the Galil. In the Galil, we have now a campaign of building new settlement near the Sea of Galilee called Ramat Arbel. So we need resolutions from the government in order to establish new settlement legally. Okay, this is it from now, Galia.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Eran. Thank you for standing in. And you've said a lot of important things that we need to hear, and I think everyone needs to hear. And the fact that we need to be on the right there, keeping the government loyal to its people, and it needs us to keep on pulling it and to remind it and to back it in what it's doing for the right, for the country, for Yehuda and Shomron, for Ramat Arbel, which is also part of Nachala in the Galil, all of these very, very important places. And of course, sovereignty is something that, you know, this is our homeland. This is ours. So, bevadai. And as you said, we want to create facts on the ground. And we have with us people today who are prepared to go up on the land. We've actually got representatives from the Garinim who are joining us and will talk to us a little bit later. I would now, thank you very much. I now would like to call on Daniela Weiss. She's one of the women whom I personally most admire. She is the director today of the Nachala movement and actually an incredible pioneer in her own right. In 1975, Daniela took her very young family to the mountains of Shomron to live in Kdumim. At the time, it wasn't Kdumim. At the time, it was just a mountain. Okay, today it is a flourishing yeshuv in the Shomron. And at one stage, Daniela was also the mayor of Kdumim. And while she was the mayor of Kdumim, the yeshuv actually developed to such a degree that it became its own municipal council. Daniela has also always been part of the Gush Emonim movement and held many of the important and leadership roles there as well. She is one of the greatest powerhouses behind the development of Yehuda and Shomron. And I'm sure that's a statement that I think I could get 99%, if not 100% agreement from all of you people here today. Daniela, please.
Okay, Gila, thank you very much. Do you hear me properly, everybody?
Beautiful, thank you. Yes.
I want to give more room, more time for the young pioneers who are now the new generation who are settling Eviatar and Oriad and other very important new places of new sites of Nachala. But I will briefly relate to the big revolution that has taken place in the last elections. I think in terms of no less than historical revolution, because the parties that got the majority of supporters are purely Zionistic, very much supportive of settlements, very much supportive of all Jewish pure values. And while there were attempts in the last 10 years or so to change the nature of the state of Israel, the basic laws about law of return and things connected with keeping Shabbat and other Jewish values, we thank God we had such a big success. And I believe that from now on, history of Zionism, the history will in the way of
Daniela, we're having a difficulty hearing you
no
right now.
attempt.
Repeat that.
1 second.
Okay, you're good.
No attempt to deviate from the basic values on which the state of Israel was founded. No such attempts will ever succeed. Be'ezrat Hashem. Yet I am quite well experienced in the ways of politics, in the ways of new governments, and how they act after they were elected. So I know we have a long way to go, a tough way to go, and we need all people who participate in this, all people who love the land of Israel, to help us, the pioneers who do the act on the ground, on the mountains of Judea and Samaria, to help us accelerate the process of building new settlements. We Nachala members, Nachala activists, Nachala management, Lital, Gila, and others who are not present in this specific meeting, we make extra effort to carry out practical work of establishing new settlements in order to prevent the Arabs from seizing land, government land, or as mentioned before, also land that we purchased from Arabs. We make extra effort in order to keep the land in Jewish hands, and we know that the best way to do it is to establish new outposts, new towns, and also agriculture on the hills of Samaria and the mountains of Judea. I would like to say that I've gone through difficulties when other governments were elected and formed, and even in the time when Menachem Begin became prime minister, and it was a big celebration, a big historical change, yet it took a few years until the plans of the settlement movement of Gush Emunim were carried out and became facts on the ground. So I'm telling you, and I'm telling my colleagues, I'm telling the young generation, the young settlers, it will happen, it is happening, but it needs time and patience. As long as we are in the right direction, upward the hills, aiming at achieving high goals, as long as we are in this correct direction, we will see good results. With your help and with the help of all those the world over, and especially in Israel, who see to it that Am Israel will get stronger and stronger in the land of Israel. Thank you very much for your attention.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. So, Daniela, you're talking to us about perseverance, okay? About really, we need to persevere and continue, and then, please God, we will succeed. Sometimes it takes a while to see results, but we will see results if we persevere and we remain strong and determined. So, when we talk about strength and determination, I think we're talking about the Yeshuv of Eviatar that Nachala established, the first Yeshuv in the Shomron, actually, to be established over the past 20 years. Okay, and it was in the headlines in Israel. It was incredibly popular. Around 100,000 people actually came to visit to see Eviatar and wanted to be a part of this historical and ideological event. Eviatar, a new Yeshuv in the land of Israel, is being created. It was unbelievable, okay? And because there was so much public and political support, the government was actually forced to recognize Eviatar and to reach an agreement. So although we're not living there at the moment, the army is there. So this was a place that had nobody. Today the army is there. and an agreement was actually reached that a yeshiva would be established there. Okay, Benny Gantz didn't keep his word and establish the yeshiva, okay, but Bibi told Daniela, and we have it on record, in a meeting that they had just before the elections, he said that whatever Gantz promised, I will keep. So Be'ezrat Hashem, we are looking forward to returning to Eviatar in the very near future. Okay, so I want to actually call on Malkiel Bar-Chai, who was a resident of Eviatar, and for him to share with us some of his experience and what it was like, okay, to be there. Thank you, Malkiel. I'm going to make you a co-host, Malkiel.
Okay, thank you very much, Gila. And I'll put the share screen. I'll say good evening for everyone from Israel, and good afternoon from everyone out in the States. Also in Brazil, is it morning or good afternoon? I'm gonna share my personal view of being part of Eviatar. So I'll introduce myself first, and I'm just working to bring up a share screen and do it along. So my name is Malkiel. I'm married to Hadar. We have 8 children. I work in agriculture. Hadar is a teacher, and when we've been working with Nachala for several years since it's been established approximately 15 years ago. A couple of years ago, we decided, a group of families, that it's time for a new settlement in the Shomron, and we decided to go to Eviatar. Eviatar is named after Eviatar Borovsky. He was murdered in Tzomet Tapuach, which is a mile away. And so it was named after his murder. There was an early attempt to establish it, but we decided that we're gonna try and do it again. And we were scattered around. We came from Ramat HaGolan, which is 2 hours drive away. There was another family from Itzal. There was another family from Kuchav HaShachar. And our goal was to have activity and to make it back to conversation that it's time to build a new yishuv. So we also had some boys from Tapuach. Yeah, we did in Chanukah, we had Nerot candle lighting, and in Sukkot we had activity. In Lag BaOmer we did camping out on the mountain. But what triggered Eviatar most was, unfortunately, the terrible terror attack in Tzomet Tapuach a year ago, where Yehuda Goeta was murdered. That same night when that happened, we decided, the families, we decided that it's time for us to go up to Eviatar. So the same night we went up there to the hilltop. I'm doing a share screen. Can you see this?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, so this is a picture.
We can see your share screen, but Malkiel, if you will do it on the full screen, it will be better.
Okay, how do you do that?
It's fine. Leave it.
Okay. So this is Eviatar. This is how it looked when we left it. I'll show you some pictures of how it looked in the beginning, and we need to understand that it was an evolving event. When we went up there, it was just plain hilltop. Look, there's a picture here on the bottom. You can see the tents. That same night, few families that drove up. We had a few more families that joined us from previous attempts to go up to the mountain. This is how it starts. The first week of Eviatar was just like this. After a week, we're having more and more people come and support, and to make a statement that we're here not just as a hafgana, as a protest. We're here to build a yeshuv. So we started building. So a week after, we started building houses out of wood. There was no rooftop, just a plain cover, and this wasn't how it looked a week after. And you need to understand the spirit of it. The spirit was that we're there in order to build a yeshuv, and we're doing all our efforts to make it that way. So after a few buildings were built out of wood, we progressed and we had started making a concrete floor. Look at the workers here. All the workers are volunteers. Most of them are teenagers. Some of them are young kids. Look, all of them is just standing in the cement. They don't have a lot of experience. I can tell you that because the concrete was all bouncing up and down. It wasn't properly leveled, but that was okay. And you can see trucks came by, concrete trucks, and everything was just evolving like a real settlement. And from day to day, we had more and more people coming and more advanced technology. And you can see here the proper concrete floor, and these are blocks for building the wall. And buggers here knocking away to put more and more houses. Here people are talking where they're going to build the next houses, and from day to day it was going up. I want to share you my personal feeling. We made a commitment to Aviatar that once we joined, we left everything we had in the Golan behind us. That was a teacher, so she kind of continued teaching in distance through Zoom, and I was working in agriculture. I had to come back and forth almost every other day, so I mostly spend the daytime in the Golan and the night times in Aviatar. Sometimes I did 2 days in a row, and from moving from tent, we moved to a wooden house, and then we moved to a concrete house. These houses are approximately 30 meters square big. So 30 meters per family. It's 60 meters, but was divided into two with a wall. You can see here through the building, the happenings. We were busy all the time and bringing more and more people all the time, having people, giving them activity and inviting people to come and to see, and people were just coming all the time. I'll show of course also the kids, they came. So you see here's the picture on the top. This is our bedroom. The 30 meters was divided into two. This is his entrance to our house. This is my wife. These are my two girls, and these are friends that came and helped. This is how they slept, just one next to each other, and the house wasn't straight, so they were kind of rolling all over the place, and they were helping themselves. This is my older kid was making pita. They were kind of making their own activities. I'll have a few more pictures from the house. So this is the living room. I had a lot of people. It's important to mention that the conditions weren't easy. A lot of people came in and helped out. We had friends that come and help. We had families that come and help. A cousin came and built a window so we could have privacy. Another friend came in and connected us to water. And some people came and brought us sofas. At first we were sleeping on the floor. A family came from Revava and said, "What, you're sleeping on the floor?" So they went over and bought 2 beds. And so we as a parent, we could sleep on the beds. This is my family came to visit. Okay, this is a sign that I need to line up. This is how we bathe the kids. So you see, these are my 2 little boys. They're taking a bath. This is a regular routine night bath. This toilet above is not connected. It was just a piece of art. And we had water coming through the hose, which was lately connected. Our bathroom was organic compost. And this is my daughter. She washed the dishes after morning breakfast. This is me standing in the back. You can see I hold a small yellow jerry can. So this is how we had our water at first. Just had to fill up the water from the main hose and to walk 100 meters to the house. And this is what we drank from. This is what we bathed in. And I want to tell you, so we had life go on, normal atmosphere. It was a very high spirit. We felt we were lucky to be part of this. And even though the conditions were very difficult and were not easy, but we were fulfilled with the high spirit of building the place. And well, of course, we had also the support of people coming from all the country and saying, this is right, this is the right thing you're doing, this is real Zionism. And some joined and stayed, some said, if we can't stay, well, we're supporting. And we can see all of Am Yisrael are coming and just supporting. And I'll show just another few pictures. You see this, how many people, hundreds and hundreds. This was Filat Vatikin early in the morning. You see hundreds of people davening. And it was a great atmosphere.
Thank you.
Okay.
Totally, completely inspiring, I have to say. Okay.
Definitely.
לכבוד.
Okay.
I need, okay, you have to
Okay.
stop the share. So we
Okay.
can, please.
Just a second. First time I'm doing it, in a minute.
Okay, fine.
I think hey, stop share. Got it.
Terrific.
So good.
Terrific. Thank you.
You're
I think
welcome.
that we see you need a lot of commitment actually to do what Malkiel did. And you need a lot of determination because we saw that the conditions were difficult. But the fact that Am Yisrael was there with him and coming and giving, whether it's couches for beds or whether it's putting in windows, whatever it may be, all of those are such important activities, so important to show support and to help people survive and to manage under those challenging conditions. But it seems to me that Malkiel needs to get ready once again to pack his bags and move back to Eviatar, Be'ezrat Hashem. Should happen very soon.
Amen. Bezrat Hashem. We're ready.
I know for myself that I went to Eviatar a number of times and I bought groups there. And when the groups left there, they didn't walk out. They actually floated out because it was such an inspiring and incredible atmosphere in Eviatar because the nation felt that we were doing it again. We were making it happen. And this is our dream, to build Yeshuvim in Eretz Yisrael. And please God, we're going to try and do that again. And we understand how important it is. I'm going to ask Nadav to join us now. Nadav is from the Yeshuv of Oriad. Oriad is just a new Yeshuv that's being established now, slowly, but it's happening. Okay, so Nadav, we want to see you first.
Hello. Oh, just a moment. Okay.
Okay, terrific. Thank you, Nadav.
Hello. My name is Nadav Zak. So I live in Oriad near Kdumim. I'm married to Arbel Zak, and we have 6 children. I'm 35 years old, and I work in occupational health. So 2 years ago, a group of people and teenagers came to idea to settle a hill near Kdumim. This was very important hill because a lot of Arabs, Palestinians are planting trees in this hill, and we get to idea that to stop the taking over of the Arabs on this hill, we need to live there because the government can't hold this hill. So at first we are gather a lot of people that support us, the idea for this, a lot of grown up and also teenagers that want to help us to build this. It was very unsimple at first. It was very hard. And after a few months that we are talk and gather a lot of people with us, in the night, you can see the truck. We bring 3 caravans, a small house to this hill. It was very happy. It was in the middle of the night. Because we do it in the night, because we don't, that the government capture this, because at first it was illegal. but we think this is only the solution to do this. And right. In the morning, we do it in Tuesday, in the night of Tuesday, and in the morning, you can see a lot of people came to this hill, and we are right, and we are make a mezuzah and be blessed for building
Nadav,
this.
we've seen the same slide. It hasn't moved for us.
Oh, wait. Okay, you can see now.
Yeah, if you can make it larger, great. We can see now. We can see the mezuzah. We see the things.
A
Yeah.
lot of people came and celebrate with us the settlement, the Riyadh. I can. It was a lot of challenge at first. Was in this to live in this hill, like electricity. We have a generator that every day, every few hours, we need to put fuel in this, and it was. I don't say it at first. It was 1 week after Hanukkah, and it's winter, and a lot of rainy and mud. Very challenging for us and also the kids, the children. And wait, I wrote. So the electricity was one challenge. Water, we bring a water tank in the hill. It was in the middle of the caravans, and we drink from this. So think about in the morning, we want to wash our hands and face. It was very cold, but we get through this, right? You can see
Fabulous, beautiful. It's really special there.
Yes, very special. After a few months, we bring two caravans more. So now we are 5 caravans in there, and we built a synagogue. So every Saturday, people from Kdumim are getting to Riyadh and pray with us. So we have a minyan every Saturday, right? You can see a lot of teenagers come to Riyadh and make roads and shvilim,
Pathways, right?
Pathways in the hill, and making a lot of very special things. Here is the synagogue. You can see. And we, after some weeks of the synagogue, people bring a Sefer Torah to the synagogue. So now we have a Sefer Torah in there, and the life, we are living there and happy. The children love this place.
Fabulous. That's fabulous. It's amazing what can be done. As we say, it takes a lot of determination, and I think it's a lot of courage, as well as the communal support is really important.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Nadav. If you can stop the screen share. Okay. I'm now going to ask Tanya. Okay, terrific. Thank you very much. I'm now going to call on Tanya Bia she's from the Garin in Har Hebron. That's at a different stage. We saw Evyatar it grew at a meteoric stage. It was actually miraculous, nothing short of miraculous. But Riyadh is a yeshuv that is slowly and quietly developing, and it's working and it's there. And now we want to hear from Tanya for how it's actually before the stage of the development. Okay, so Tanya, Unmute, please.
So hi everyone, I'm Tanya Bial from Har Hebron. We live here over 10 years, my family. So really, as you said, Eviatar and Oriad are our inspirement. We're waiting to get there and we're learning from each step on the way. And I wasn't here the whole time. It was like back and forth with the kids. But I'm assuming, as those before me said, here we see it mamash in our eyes every day, how the Arabs just spread and spread, hill after hill and vadi after vadi. They're not waiting for anyone. And you see it's very organized and very, with a lot of budgets behind them. And it's amazing, the bad way of amazing, how it sometimes seems like it's non-stoppable, like it is what it is, but we know it is stoppable and it has to be stopped. And if we're not there.
Well, you have to keep your phone still, please.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay, thanks. Terrific.
So this is fine. I'm like
Yes.
holding it, so I hope it won't move.
Thank you.
Anyways, so it's when we see all of this, just a little example, we have like this hilltop right near us, that we go walking there and jogging there, pull up the car for a little picnic. And a few months ago, the Arabs put their trash and garbage. We're like, what's going on? That's not nice. A few days later, there was a little room and a little tent. And a few days later, there was this gate and fence. And we're still very frustrated from this whole,
Wow.
but it's only a little example that wherever we're not there, so someone else is eating the piece of cake. It's not staying and waiting. That's our feeling. So we're still not in the stage that we have a certain spot and we're on it. We're going to a few spots the last couple months, every weekend, if it was a Thursday or Friday, and there was like one Shabbat. So we went to all over Har Hebron, also with Nachala, also the group of us that really wants to be there. And we were thinking, what spot is calling us? Where is the most we're needed? And we just came for a conclusion that everywhere, we need everywhere. There's no spot that's more important than the other. It's we need them all. And we were thinking, what would have our leaders? We're not here alone. We're part of a whole chain of generations that were here and that are here. And what would have they done? And it makes me think that, yeah, I have to get up from my comfortable couch and my cozy house. And it's like I don't have a choice. And we're willing to move the family and the kids, how they said, Nadav and Gamliel before, to the mud and the wind and the heat and the cold and whatever it would bring, to be part of this big chapter that is written right now on our holy land, to be part of it. And it's like, we don't need the Arabs to remind us that it's our land, that we want to kiss every rock and go freely and feel at home everywhere and every hill. So I don't have pictures to show how we build the houses, but we're getting there, and we believe we'll be there. And we're not going, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to start with the strength we have and the imta'im we have.
Meats that we have.
Yeah, but that, it doesn't stop there. After one, so we're going to go to the other one, another one, and we don't feel like we have one spot and there we did our. It's just a beginning to break the wall that's keeping us. What?
Yes, I think that what you're saying is really important, Tanya, because as things are actually, as it starts, as a process begins, then we will see more and more how it will continue. And that's what we really want to see, how this process continues. Okay. And as and we will be inspired by the success of every place, of every Eviatar, and of every Oriad. That will inspire us and will encourage others to join. And we see throughout how the nation is there and ready to support. And we see our brothers and sisters in Chutz La'aretz as well are so supportive. As we see today, you're all here, you've all joined us. You've joined us because you care about Eretz Israel, because you care about Yehuda and Shomron. And that is very important to us. It's important to Eretz Israel. So obviously, all of our activities, whether it's part of the success of Eviatar, was because we had activities running all of the time. We made sure that all those people who wanted to visit, they could come and visit because there were buses, there was transport, and there was a reason to come. And we had concerts, we had things going. This takes funding, and we're turning to our friends. We're turning to our friends to help us to support the activities of Nachala, which are going really to build up Eretz Israel and to fulfill our dream of making the heartland of our homeland expanded and large and bountiful. Because as you see, we need to plant the trees, because if we don't plant the trees, somebody else is going to be planting the trees, and we only want our trees there, please God. Okay, Daniela, is Daniela here? Okay, yes, Daniela, you're here. Terrific. Okay, if anybody has any questions for Daniela, now is the time.
May I say something?
Yes, please.
Before questions, even just one comment, that we are planning now with the new government to return to Eviatar as soon as possible. We need you all with us, and the greater support we get, the easier it will be for us to return to Eviatar.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We will actually be sending you, following this call, we will be gladly sending you a recording, and we will be sending people links so that you could help us and you could donate and share this with other people. It's not something that we usually do, turn to people after our Zooms and ask them to help us. But at the moment, we have a lot in front of us, a lot of work ahead of us. And I think that each and every one of you here understand how imperative what we're doing is. So your help will be greatly appreciated. Okay, do we have any questions? Okay. So I'm going to say we've kept to our time beautifully. Thank you very much. Thank you to each and every one of you for joining us today. And we will keep you updated on all of the activities of Nachala. Reach out to us and let us know if what level you want to be updated at. If you want to be involved, if you want to help us with other activities, please reach out to us. So wish everybody a wonderful week, and may we have Be'ezrat Hashem, lots of besorot tovot, good news with the formation of a very good new government for Am Yisrael and for Eretz Israel. Thank you.
Thank you, Gila.